Hi class. So for the expert perspectives, I chose to focus on the two authors of Danny Martin and Deborah Ball. Well, actually, this one's by Deborah Ball and Heather Hill. So, um, I haven't really seen their individual works, so I got to kind of narrow it down after this and figure out which one I'm more interested in talking about. But for now, these are the people I am focusing on. Um, So the one by Danny Martin is entitled Hidden Assumptions and Underaddressed Questions in the Mathematics for All Rhetoric. Um, I don't know if we're supposed to read the abstract or not, but I'm going to go ahead and read it and then give you my takeaways. So, in this article, I discuss some of the hidden assumptions and unaddressed questions in the increasingly popular Mathematics for All rhetoric by presenting an alternative critical view of equity in mathematics education. Just stopping right there, the term equity automatically caught my eye, and that's why I chose this specific article. There's a lot of I was looking at a lot of his titles, and his all of it was kind of like talking about the underrepresented groups. Um, they were more specific, and I figured like this one was kind of encompassing all um not all groups, but a way to kind of jump in and get the conversation started about equity. So that's why I picked this one. um I'm going to finish reading it. Conceptualizations of equity within mainstream mathematics education research and policy have for the most part been top down and school focused in the ways that marginalize equity as a topic of inquiry. um and I actually have to stop at this sentence because it kind of caught my eye. It talked about top down school and school focused in ways that marginalize equity as a topic of inquiry. That kind of just means to me that they kind of, I don't know if I'm interpreting this wrong, but when I read it, I kind of thought that this just meant that they bring it up and they kind of research on it. And I feel like that's really not enough. I have seen it happen in PLCs. We'll ask about the trends in the test, and then we'll look at what students that happened to, and like, oh, okay, well, maybe they weren't exposed to this, or maybe they needed more support with this. And I kind of feel like, I know it's the teacher's task to kind of make the education individualized and kind of, help close those gaps up for those students that are struggling or who just may not have the support at home or may not have that background knowledge of some of these concepts. But I feel like if an administrator is going to bring it up, they are the ones that have seen all the different grade levels and sat in all those PLCs and have like really gotten to see a pattern maybe or gather some more data within the whole school's demographic. And I feel like they, I don't know, it should be more than me just bringing it back up at the next PLC meeting. I feel like they should kind of carry that on if they see it's in a problem that kind of affects all of the school. I feel like it's something that they should kind of keep track of and be able to present more information on it within the next meeting. So that sentence kind of got to me because it does just kind of seem like a topic of inquiry. Yeah, you should look into it and deal with it on your own. But if it's an overall school problem, or school situation, I feel like it should be um, more in-depth project, should I say. And I'm going to continue on right here. Bottom-up community-based notions of educations in mathematics education are often of different sort and focused on the connections or lack thereof between mathematics learning and real opportunities in life. Because of these differences, there has been a continued misalignment of the goals for equity set by mathematics education educators, and policymakers in comparison to the goals of those who continue to be underserved in mathematics education. I also argue equity discussions and equity related efforts in the mathematics education need to be connected to discussions of equity in the largest social and structural contexts that impact the lives of those underrepresented students. Achieving mathematics for all in the context of limited opportunity elsewhere may represent a pyrrhic victory. Um, when reading the rest of it, starting with the community-based notion of mathematics education are often more focused on connections. I feel like we definitely should. I mean, my last posting on the first chapter was all talking about, you know, having that mathematics focus on real life um, situations. And like, it's not just about, sorry, I can't get my words out. After reading all those, my thoughts are kind of jumbled up. But it's not about just in the classroom. What you learn in the class carries on to real life. I know I thought I never used some of that stuff. I actually used um, percentages today when I was at the store trying to figure out how much sales tax, um, what Louisiana sales tax was, and then how much it was going to add on to my purchase. So that stuff does carry on into the real world, and I feel like students should really, the school should be focusing on getting students to realize that stuff matters. So I'm actually going to switch to the other story, or the other abstract. It says effects of teacher mathematical knowledge for teaching on student achievement. The title right here just grabbed me. This one's by Heather Hill, Brian Rowan, and Deborah Ball. So 2 of those were listed on on the Moodle page. But the title automatically grabbed me because I know a lot of teachers that don't really know too much. Well, the tutors at Sylvan, that don't really know too much about some of the stuff that they're teaching those kids. And I'll have to like leave my table and jump over there and be like, whoa, 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 that's not correct. I have not been teaching long at all, but some of that stuff I just know is not correct because I've worked at Sylvan for a while now. So being there, I'm really on top of my, like, the skills of most grade levels. So I'm a lot better at the elementary and middle school stuff than some of that upper high school stuff. But, I can listen in. If I hear that something doesn't make sense or I know that that's wrong, I'm going to, jump in and try to help that student understand. So I'm going to read the abstract. It says, this study explored whether and how teachers' mathematical knowledge for teaching contributes to gains in students' mathematics achievements. The author used a linear mixed model of methodology in which the first and third graders' mathematical achievements gains over a year were nested within teachers, who in turn were nested within schools. They found that teachers' mathematical knowledge was significantly related to the students' achievement gains in both first and third grade after controlling for student and teacher level covariates. That's like the control variable. This result, while consistent with findings from educational production function literature, was obtained via a measure focusing on the specialized mathematical knowledge and skills used in teaching mathematics. This finding provides support for policy initiatives designed to improve students' mathematics achievement by improving teachers' mathematical knowledge. I kind of feel like the study really was unnecessary. Of course, if you don't know something, your students aren't going to grasp it that well. But I'm not sure if there's a study out there saying that pedagogical, I don't know how to say that word, but a teacher's pedagogy, like their ability to teach is gonna help their students, even though if they don't know the topics, if they sound confident and they have, I don't know, if the students trust them enough, then whatever they say will make enough sense that that the student feels confident in whatever they learned. I don't know. I really don't see the point of this lesson, but I also see the point of it in the same light because I have seen it. I have walked into another classroom where a teacher got up at the board. I went up during my off period just to grab some papers off the printer. But I went and I was watching her teach this lesson. And I already taught my math lesson that day. So I was sitting there. I was walking in and I was just going to get my papers. And I could hear her teaching them the wrong stuff. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not how that's supposed to go. I didn't step on her toes or anything. But I was just like, um, that's not what you're supposed to do because your answer is not going to come out right. So she solved it as she was trying to tell the students what to do, continually teaching them wrong. She solved it and she was like, that answer doesn't make sense. I'm like, yes, it doesn't. You checked your answer and it doesn't make sense because you didn't do the right process. So, I mean, I understand, but I don't understand the point of this lesson. But I'll be more interested in they kind of got me hooked by it just because I can have this big old conversation just like arguing the text. So I thought this was a good reading. I thought this abstract was really entertaining to say the least.